Day it was this DJ named Mr. Magic. Now Mr. Magic was a disc jockey on the radio. He was the one that played hip hop back in the day and got your records mainstream and made it be played on the radio. Him and Marley Marl, you know, they worked together. Marley Marl worked with him on a radio station and all that good stuff. And he got this. He used to do some ignorant shit, man. Like, if he ain't like your record, he would go on air and break your record in half. From his opinion, if he thought it was whack, he thought that KRS-One and his crew joint was whack. KRS-One took it personal. So during that time, emcee Shan, that was part of the Juice Crew, he had this joint called The Bridge. What he personally said where he thought hip hop came from and where hip hop started. Not in general, overall, but just the area that he lived at from his personal point of view. And KRS-One took it totally different. And he came back with the response record, which was The Bridge Is Over. Bridge Is Over took the world by storm. It was played every day, all day. Became the biggest hit. To this day in hip hop, the beat was sickening. The way that DJ Scott LaRock, rest in peace to Scott LaRock, KRS-One main dude back in the day. He sit up there, hooked that shit up, man, with the Jamaican bass, and KRS-One threw in the Jamaican lyrics like "Biddy bye bye," you know what I mean? Threw that in there because KRS-One is part Jamaican. For people who may not know that, you can tell from his voice, and his lyrics, and everything like that. But he is Jamaican. He put all them elements into that joint, and it was fire. So it was a good thing that they dissed KRS-One and his crew, because they kind of made the crew dominant and made them potent. It made them real potent and still standing to this day. So that was a good thing that happened. Now, what do that have to do with Roxanne Shante? Leading up to that right now, she was part of the crew, like I told you, and it was a lyric in there that he put in there, because if you hear the song "The Bridge Is Over," he only went to like 3 main people. He ain't went after the crew overall. He talked about the people that dissed him, which was Mr. Magic, emcee Shan, because he said the hip hop started in Queensbridge. That's the only reason why he came at him. And then he also said something about Roxanne Shante, because she was the only girl in the crew. He said, I finally figured out Magic Mouth was only used for sucking. Roxanne Shante is only good for study fucking. She heard this shit and she was like, oh no, we got to respond. So he ain't have beef, like I said, with nobody else really, because he was cool with Big Daddy. Him and Big Daddy was homies, because he helped Big Daddy Kane move one day. Well, I think Big Daddy Kane helped him move, him and Miss Melody, one day at his apartment, because they was moving, and Miss Melody and them was messing around at that time. I don't think they was married yet, but they was involved with each other, whatever. He helped them move, so they sat back, drunk 40s together. You ain't hear him say something, nothing about Cool G Rap, of course. You ain't hear him say nothing about Craig G, none of them other members. But he said something about Roxanne. She took it personal. And she told Biz and Cool G Rap and Big Daddy, all them was like, I know. And I don't think they ever respond back. You know, they just kept it like, okay, whatever. And she was like, oh no, I got to do something. Because Roxanne was a baller as well. She was a first MC, but she was from Queens, and she was like one of them chicks that like to fight.
You may remember the voice from a few years ago when I first came out and dissed UTFO. I chilled for a while, I put down my pen, but now some suckers from the Bronx got me started again. Now I'm not out to just a hopefully down, just a featherweight crew from that part of town. You made a little record and then you start fronting, try to diss the Juice Crew but ain't hurt nothing. Now KRS-One, you should go on vacation with the name sounding like a whack radio station. And as for Scholar Rock, you should be ashamed. When Sheila Rock said it short, he didn't mean to
Later, I bumped into Karis one at the bank. And I think he spoke about this in one of his interviews. He did, didn't he? Yeah, he spoke about his interview where I was like, I walked in the bank and I had my son at the time, because I had my son very early in life. I think I was one of the first ones to have, even though I was the youngest in hip hop, I was the first one to have a baby and literally take him on tour, put him on album covers, put him inside magazines. And I remember being there with my sister. I think it was like one of my little sisters at the time, and we're going into the bank and I spot him. And as soon as I spot him, I'm like, hold a baby. And I'm ready to fight. Like, yeah, I was like, hold a baby. You know, and that's the Shantae coming out of me. And he was like, hold up, wait a minute. I was like, nah, ain't no wait a minute now. We about to tear this bank up. You know, and because again, that's how I took hip hop. It was because I expected him to say something, like to defend it, to be as rock. I expected him to speak like the bridge is over. I expected him to like dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. You know, I thought we just gonna tear the bank up today. You know, like that's the way I expected it to go from that point. But he was like, "You're right." You know, he truly humbled himself, and I was like, "Yeah, don't talk about me no more." Like, yeah, I walked out of there feeling like, "Yeah, that's right. Now give me the baby. Let's go."
Yeah.
Why I say that sometimes I feel like history should not be rewritten is because those were character builders. Like I took those lyrics, and those were one of the reasons that really pushed me to pursue my education, because I never wanted anyone to think that Roxanne Shantae was only good for study, you know? So therefore, it gives you that drive and that push. So sometimes things that people take as adversity, or people take as, you know, things that are gonna belittle you or make you, no, honestly they don't. When you're hood born and bred, there's certain things that you take. There's gonna be those who are weak, when it comes to self-esteem builders and things like that, I also tell a lot of young ladies, like, listen, you're going to hear a lot of derogatory statements regarding yourself. The catch is not to feed into them and to prove them wrong.
There's also a movie that was made about Roxanne Shantae coming up and everything like that. It was on Netflix. Roxanne Shantae got together and did this movie so the world could see. Played by a young lady who her name was Shantae. So when she auditioned for the role, Shantae was like, yo, I got to put this girl in this joint. She has my fucking, you know what I mean, my rap name, because Shantae is Roxanne. Shantae is her middle name. Roxanne is her stage name. So she's seen this young lady with the name Shantae. She was like, oh no, she has to have this role. And the young lady actually had won a Sundance Awards for this film. You know, she got good praise for playing her. And there was a lot of big names in this movie, like Mahershala Ali, the dude from Moonlight. He was in this joint as the abusive boyfriend. And it focused a lot on that, domestic abuse, and how, you know, she was getting beat up and everything by him. She finally got the strength to leave him, which she talked about in the recent interview she did before the movie. So to me, they focused more on that. You know, it was loosely based. They didn't really talk about Big Daddy Kane and the Juice Crew, and how she started with them, really. They had a brief moment of some dude that was supposed to play MC Shad. Brief joint with Marley Marl when she met him in the studio. I mean, she met him in his apartment, and they did the classic Roxanne. They did show that in the movie. But everything else was like real fast forward and everything like that. So, you know, a lot of stuff was watered down. Like I said, they focused more on when she had the young baby and everything like that. And also Nia Long played in this joint as her mom. Nia Long did her thing. You know what I mean? Gained a little weight because her mom was thick. You know, so Nia Long, you know, got her thickness together to play this role. We known for Nia Long always playing, you know, we used to her being slim and everything like that, but she put on some pounds for this role. So I think you need to check it out as a true hip hop fan of Roxanne. Roxanne Shantae, she was the template of female MCs, and she was a sacrificial lamb for hip hop, and I'm gonna explain that to you. Before, in the early 80s, when Shantae was battling and she was freestyling, it wasn't a such thing of a female MC. It was that you were just a straight MC. no matter if you was male, female, black, white, green, yellow, whatever. And then the seminar happened. Like they used to have this thing where they would have the best MCs that was known at that time will all compete in battle and freestyle and battle against each other. They would have legendary pioneers there. And this particular time, it was Grandmaster Cass and Curtis Blow. And Shantae was at this particular place battling everybody all day long, all the way down till she almost lost her voice. Male, female. And it got down to Busy B. Busy B, well-known party rocker MC, get the crowd started, known for freestyling. And back then they would judge the competitions just like they do with basketball, with the slam dunk contest. You'll get numbers. The highest you can get is a 9 or a 10. If you got a 2, you disqualified and you lose. So what was going on, Curtis Blow told the panel is that, how could we make her lose? And I'm about to explain that. So they was like, well, only way she could lose is she get a 2. She was killing them. Ain't no way no way. What she was doing and the way she was ripping people apart, they couldn't give her a 2. So the last joint between her and Busy B, she got a 2 from Curtis Blow. And she lost the battle. She was upset, butthurt. And then years later, he seen her and explained to her why he gave her a 2. She ain't want to really hear it. She forgave him, all that. She was with her husband that she married to right now. And the husband was like, I want to know why. So he explained to her that particular time hip-hop couldn't have a female MC. And exactly at the age she was at, 15 years old, 15, 16, dominating these dudes and taking these dudes under, taking people under at that young age. Hip-hop wasn't ready at that particular time. So he basically said it would ruin hip-hop and hip-hop's image. Then after that, that's when he started categorizing female MCs, male MCs for that particular reason.
Been going through this all day long, and I'm down to the end, and my voice is almost gone, and I at the time I'm 15 years old, 14, 15 years old, and people are like cheering for me, like, oh my God, this little girl is getting ready to be the best in the world. And I lost. And I think that day I lost some of my love for hip hop, some of my respect for hip hop, because I always thought that it went by how talented you were and how great you were. And if you were good at it, then this is what you were going to be. And that's how I felt. So years later, listen, at that time, hip hop was brand new. Hip hop was just starting to be accepted in as far as a true genre of music. Hip hop is finally starting to go mainstream. Major labels are starting to finally give us deals, and they're finally starting to take us serious. And there was just no way that they were going to continue to take hip hop serious if the best in the world was a 15-year-old girl. They were not going to do that, Shantae. So right. I'm sorry that I did that day, but I did that for hip hop. It wasn't that I had anything against you. He said, and if you would have talked to me anytime after that, I would have explained that to you. But I couldn't explain it to you that day. He said, because you wasn't trying to hear it. He said, and I think that's the reason why I need to explain it to you now. So, I understood that I had to be that sacrifice for hip hop. And, and I remember that day, everybody pat me on the back. Well, listen, you know what? You still gonna be the best female rapper ever. You the best female rapper. That's how we see it. You the best female. There ain't no girl better than you. And that's when the title female rapper came out. And, and I understand because
with a hip hop legend from Queensbridge, also honored at the Grammys this weekend. The rapper known as Roxanne Shante was just 15 when she cut this track in Long Island City. 40 years later, there she is with her Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award, and she's the first solo female rapper to get it.
When it comes to being able to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award from the Grammys, it's truly an honor, because one thing I can say is that when you get in the industry, and this is for any artist, the main things that you want to do is you think in your mind, I want to get a Grammy one day. I want to be a Billboard. I want to be paid in full. And I can honestly say that I have all three.
And then, people might not know this, do your research. She helped spawn, everybody say he's the greatest lyricist of all time. I'm talking about the one and only Nas. Nas will open up for her. And he was shy at first, but she first met him in the hallway. He used to freestyle for her, and she told him, when you get your shit together, when you're ready, I want you to open up for me. And he talked about that. He talked about that all the time. Roxanne Shante still humble about that. So she helped bring him out. Like I said, Biz Markie, all these other people, man. That's why, to this day, there's no female who did that. That spawned these MCs.
Roxanne Shante was a young teenage girl who had heart, because she would just be out in the projects, hanging, and I would see her, and we heard about her, and she was like a hood star at first. You know, you just hear about her, and then we would see her, and she heard me doing some little rhymes, and she was interested, and she was like, yo, I want you to participate with something. I want you to do some stuff. I want you to work on your craft, and when I see you again, have it together. And there was something that she left out before it was actually in the movie. She said, she saw me and I didn't have it together, and she said, next time I see you, if you don't have it together, I'll fuck you up.
Yo, so that was real.
100%.
All right.
1,000% real. And I believed her. I'm younger than her, and she wasn't soft. So, I try to low-key avoid her, because I didn't want to deal with her, not having my rhyme ready, because I wasn't ready. Right. I wasn't ready. But what she did was spark something in me that really made me want to take it serious. And she is one of the reasons that I really thought it was possible, that it could even happen. Like, this is a female, where female MCs wasn't really looked at in the right way back then.
Now, a lot of people say, what happened to her? Why did she fell off? And why we don't hear about her like we need to hear about her? That's because the industry ate her up. Just like the child stars on TV. She was young, you know what I mean? She was a female, so you know how that go. So they took advantage of her to the point where she hated rap. She didn't want to do rap no more. She just left rap alone. It's like a lot of rappers when they become ministers and they go religious and they go to God. That's what happened with her, man. She left it alone and just do the old school hip hop joints here and there. You'll see her, the old school hip hop shows pop up. She'll come in and do her thing and do all her hits. But that's the one that I think that was the staple of female MCs that I think personally she was the best whoever did it. Then after that, I would have to say for me personally would be MC Lyte. But give me your opinion right now here in this video. I want to hear who you think, from any era, from the 80s, from the 90s. Who was your favorite female MC and why? Peace and one love to the hip hop, my friend. Hope you enjoyed this video. Peace.